Mr. Bones.
What up, peeps? Mr. Bones back at you, and I've got a DVD and Blu-ray update to share. X Games Edition. I got two packages here, two things are in one, and one's in another, and this means I've got some packages to unpackage for your ass, bitch. Let's see. I got a few X Games type, extreme sports type movies. I love those kind of movies. I decided to add some to the collection that I needed. Last month I picked this up. Nicole Kidman's first movie. I believe it's her first movie. If it's not her very first movie, it's one of her first couple movies. BMX Bandits. I love this movie. The main kids, one of them rides a Diamondback and the other two ride mongooses. And this is from Australia. And when you think of BMX movies, I didn't pick this up, but I want to show it. When you think of BMX movies, you think of Rad. Everybody loves Rad. I also love Rad. No one ever talks about BMX Bandits, though. See, the thing about Rad is it's about Crew Jones trying to get into the big race on Hell Track, and that's basically what it's racing. And everybody loves this movie and talks about it all the time. No one ever talks about BMX Bandits, but I enjoy this one slightly more because it has more trick stuff in it, and them doing tricks. And it's compared to the Goonies. If we'd grown up in Australia, BMX Bandits would have been our Goonies because they go on an adventure. There's three main kids, but every kid in town has a BMX. And they stumble upon these walkie-talkies that belong to some gangsters, and they start selling them. And the gangsters are chasing them around, trying to catch them and get the walkies back. And they enlist the help of all the other neighborhood kids. So you got kids running all over the place on different awesome BMX bikes, fighting back against the bad guys. I love this movie. And there's the classic Rad. I did not pick this out and just show him my copy. It's a steelbook from Mill Creek. There's a package for your ass, bitch. That's the easy rip spot over here somewhere. Right there, like a bag of chips. This is a brand new movie, came out like a year or so ago, and it's called The Ride, starring Chris Ludacris Bridges, his real name is Chris Bridges, Shane Graham, and Sasha Alexander. The inspiring story of a BMX champion who overcame an abusive childhood through the love and life lessons of his interracial foster family. They put a lot of story in this one. Well, it is based off a real story. I have seen videos on YouTube, and I'm drawing a blank on the real BMXer's name, but it's based on a true story. This kid has been through hell. He was like 10 or 12 when he got caught up in some shit and got put in juvie hall. And he gets out around 17, 18, and he's like not used to love and doesn't know how to welcome in the love that his foster family's trying to give him. And he's making all these snide remarks all the time at Ludacris, but eventually lets him in and starts feeling for the people. And the way he sees the kid when he drops him off at school, watching these other kids on their BMX bikes, and seeing him reading a BMX magazine, so he gets him a BMX. And Surprises him, opens the garage door, and there's a nice shiny Haro. And he smarts off, "What are you trying to do, buy my love or something?" Because he's still testy at first. There's a part in the movie where Ludacris gets jumped and the kid cries and he cares about him now, but he didn't at first. This is DVD. It kind of bugged me that I had to order it on DVD, that when this came out, apparently they didn't think it deserved Blu-ray. It's just got a DVD release. It's funny these days when they pick and choose that some films don't deserve a Blu-ray. Next package. Here we have Skate Kitchen. I recently just watched this for the first time. It's a pretty new movie. And you could sort of say it's based on a real story. I mean, there's not really, I guess there's a story here. I see different cool shit on YouTube that's not on here as special features for some reason, and I don't get that. Some cool stuff like a story with the director. That writing's too small, and I can't remember her name, but the director just happened to have been on a train or a bus, I can't remember which, and was overhearing these girls talk about skating and going to look for a place to skate and whatnot, and follows them off the bus and asks if she could record them, film them, make a movie with them. And they're like, "Yeah, cool, but all we do is skate all the time." And she says, "That's the point." And this is an all-girl skate crew. And it kind of reminds me of, not identical, but like an all-girl version of Lords of Dogtown. This girl here is my favorite character. I don't know if you can see that tiny picture, but there's a cool video on YouTube. Again, I don't know why it's not on here, talking about her story of when she first wanted to learn to skate. She saw these boys at school and tried to talk to them, but they didn't want nothing to do with it because she was a girl. And she gets a skateboard, gets her dad to get her a skateboard, and they just make fun of it. So she goes off to herself over to the side and watches them and copies them and learns to do all the tricks. She said eventually she got to be better than the boys, and then they wanted to hang out with her. But if she would mess up a trick, they'd say, "Of course she messed up, she's a girl." So she thought to herself, "I need to find other girls that skate." And eventually she went to the internet and eventually found other girls that skate. And the name Skate Kitchen is a play off from the word of the Goofy saying that women belong in the kitchen. So she's like, "Well, we're skating in the kitchen. How about that?" It's a pretty cool movie. The first scene, as soon as you watch it, is pretty like shocking. Like, wow, what the hell just happened? She's trying to do a trick off these steps and lands with the board straight up and down, and it busts her in her private parts, and she has to go to the hospital. Then we have Jonah Hill's masterpiece, it says, straight out of the gate, masterpiece, by someone who, I can't read that tiny writing. But this is mid-90s. This is an awesome skate movie. This is also kind of reminds me of a much less intense version of Lords of Dogtown. This has real skaters in it. You can find them all over YouTube. Sonny Solchik, I think his name is the kid. Yeah, that's his name. Sonny Solchik. And Olin Prentice is my favorite skater in here. He plays a character named Fuck Shit. I don't know if you can see that tiny picture, but he's got long curly blonde hair and he's got like Samoan colored skin. And his name is Fuck Shit because he's always saying fuck shit. Someone wrecks, he's like fuck shit. The last thing here I bought myself. I have three gifts from friends. And I was able to stop at the pawn shop about a week or so ago. Funny, it's been so long since I've been there, they still didn't have much of anything I needed. Found 2 titles, a Disney for my wife that she needed. She was with me, and that was Luca. And I found a Transformers I needed. I've had the first 3 for the longest time, and I thought I only needed like 2 more. One with Mark Wahlberg and Bumblebee. But turns out I found this one called The Last Night, which has Mark Wahlberg. And then I looked them up, and there's still another one with Mark Wahlberg I need, plus Bumblebee before the new one. I didn't know there was 2. I didn't realize there was 2 with Mark Wahlberg. Nothing to see there, just plain blue disc. I got the Bluray. A couple weeks ago, I won one of Skyla's contest. Skyla loves movies, vlogs, and more. Travel. She does these contests on Thursdays, but she's on a vacation right now. I've done a review for this. It's up if you want to hear me talk about it. It was last week. I just dropped a new one on Invisible Maniac. I prefer this cover, but I thought I'd switch it around so people could see it. Then we have, from my awesome friend Wes, I Am the Ice Lord, sent me Invisible Maniac, which I just dropped a review for if you'd like to check it out. This is a cool ass slipcover where it looks like one of them old 90s puffy stickers, but I prefer this art, the old VHS art. It's awesome. Hot pink, bright yellow. And Wes also sent me HP Lovecast from Beyond. I know I mispronounced Lovecraft. I was speaking too fast. Awesome movie. Awesome special effects and stuff in it. And that's my update. I hope you enjoyed checking it out. Thanks for watching. Peace.
I did playing role games with my swing. I'll be Indiana Bones in the Temple of Boom Tang.